Good evening and welcome to this seminar that it's organized by Y Schools in the context of the 4 seminars of top hospitality and tourism schools. So we're glad today to welcome Mr. Simon Fleury, that he's a hospitality manager in Champagne Joseph Perrier. Our presentation for today, it will be about wine tourism. It's called enotourism in French, and also sustainable development. So before that we start, I would like to remind you that at the end of this presentation you will have a quiz. So please make sure to take notes and to be prepared, because you're having 10 questions at the end. And in order to have the certification from the Top Hospitality and Tourism Schools, the association, you need to have the 4 quizzes and you have to validate them. So in order to start, and before starting with the presentation of today about wine tourism, we would like to talk a little bit about our school. So we're having a bachelor in tourism management, and it's a school that it's established since more than 20 years. We belong to an ecosystem which includes the School of Tourism, the School of Design, and also the business school, the South Champagne Business School, or SCBS. So the School of Tourism is headed by Madame Léon Suberbiel. She's the director of the school. And also one quality of our bachelor that it's recognized by the Ministry of Higher Education in France, but also we're having an international recognition by the TEDQual, which is a certification from the UN Tourism. We're having 2 campuses in Troyes and in Metz, and now we're broadcasting from our campus in Metz. Also, our students, they are having the opportunity to have this international dimension. So this is why we're having more than 53 partner universities around the world. Also, we're having the opportunity for our students, if they want to continue and to pursue their education, to continue with a master, that it's more about innovation and entrepreneurship in tourism. Also, to ensure that we're having quality within our programs, our research, the research is a cornerstone. So this is why we organize too many conferences. We're having too many researchers that they are publishing, and soon in April we are organizing an international conference about international and sustainable tourism. Now, I don't want to take more time, so I will pass the floor to Mr. Fleury, that he will talk about his experience, he will talk about the Maison Champagne, and also he will talk about the different aspects of wine tourism. So I hope that you enjoy this conference. Please make sure to pay attention to details, because the questions later on, they will be a little bit tricky. So prepare yourself and enjoy this conference. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Gabon. If the questions are tricky, it's not my fault, I have to say. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for welcoming me at Y School. And it's a pleasure to share with you the history of the Champagne House Joseph Perrier. I will give you more details about my career, what I exactly do at Joseph Perrier, and what we are currently developing. The Champagne House Joseph Perrier is celebrating this year his 200 years. We are the only Champagne house based in the city of Châlons-en-Champagne. Most of the Champagne houses are based in Reims or in Épernay. And as you can see just in front of you now, we are a family Champagne house run by the same family for 6 generations. And currently the new director, Benjamin Fourmont, after his father, Jean-Claude, just decided to invest into wine tourism. We started that project exactly in 2018, the renovation, and we were officially open to the public in 2021 after 3 years of work. But it's not done, because we have a lot more works and project in mind. So what I will introduce today, we are able to offer today, but we have more and more ideas coming up in our mind, and this is just a question of time. That house was founded by Joseph Perrier himself in 1825. he transmitted the house to his cousin, Paul Pitois. In between, you had the son and the grandson, but the grandson transmitted the house to his cousin, Paul Pitois. Then we had the two sons of Paul Pitois, Pierre and Roger. Together, they took care of the house from 1918 until 1950. And this is the son of Roger, Georges Pitois, who took over. His nickname was Uncle George because he was very close to his employees, as I heard from people working in the house for a long time. And then this is the nephew of Georges Pitois, because Georges Pitois didn't have any children, so Jean-Claude Fourmont was in the best place to take care of the house, and now his son, Benjamin Fourmont. I'm in charge of the hospitality at Joseph Perrier since 2020, since the house opened for hospitality, but it was completely closed to the public before. So Joseph Perrier is one of the very good examples you will find in Champagne. Champagne houses are currently investing, if not starting, reinvesting, because there is a lot of potential and a lot of demand coming from the tourists to visit the Champagne houses and learn more about our identity. And this is why I'm here today, to explain to you exactly and give you some numbers as well and some fields and feedback about this field. And I have a degree, master degree, to give you more details about my career in international trade. So I speak German, I speak Spanish, I speak Portuguese, I speak English, and I try sometimes to remember that my mother language is French. And so languages are quite important in hospitality in the Champagne houses, as you can understand now. And 200 years of history, you will see a video a bit later. As we belong to the same family for 6 generations, we have a strong, it is very important for us to be all very committed within the house, and the yellow, as you can see now, is our favorite color. This is our identity color, and you will find it as well on the main champagne we produce, the Cuvée Royale Brut. You have here as well a picture of the team, but not everybody is on this picture, I have to confess. And we are related, connected to the marketing team. So you as well have the marketing director on the middle of that picture, Agathe Mougenot. And we are currently 3 permanent workers within the hospitality team. And we have 2 as well students and 2 to 3 internships. So we generally reach 8 people during the high season, which is from April to end of October. So let's start with a small definition of what is wine tourism. For a long time, the Champagne houses developed hospitality not to receive tourists, but to receive their partners. So it was a cost, it was an investment, but the Champagne houses were not making any money out of it. It was just a way to take care of their best customers, of their importers in the different countries where they export. For your information, Joseph Perrier exports in 60 different countries, and we export 70% of our production. In Champagne in general, 60% of the champagne is exported, 40% is sold in France. The main countries are Japan, Australia, USA, even if we have more taxes now, maybe you've heard about that, UK, as well Italy. Italy is a big market for champagne. And the growing markets are South Korea, Mexico, Brazil. So for a long time, the champagne houses didn't have a tool to receive the tourist, but they had a tool to receive their partners. And they finally understood that it was a great idea to invest, to be able to receive more people, so to create a staff, a team that will be in charge of receiving guests all day long, every day, so really focus on that career. So the wine tourism refers nowadays to a tourist activity related to discovering vineyards, wines, the expertise of winemakers. Since we are part of the UNESCO, in 2015 we finally obtained that recognition. The tourism increased a lot in the Champagne area. I have to confess that maybe we were a bit late in comparison to other regions in France. I think about Cognac, for example, where I'm from. I think about Bordeaux, where the tourism investment in wine started earlier than in Champagne. But I guess, and I think now we just did so much investment that we're not late anymore. So some key numbers about that activity. The Champagne region received 2 million visitors last year. And we sold last year 285 million bottles. I mean the whole region. If we talk about Joseph Perrier, it's 1 million bottles within the 285 million bottles. If we talk about more champagne houses, you have in total in Champagne 5,000 producers. Within the 5,000 producers, 320 have actually the title of house. The others are wine growers or cooperatives. No? So Moët & Chandon is maybe the biggest house. They received 50,000 visitors last year. Actually, they were receiving 100,000 visitors before COVID. And after COVID, they decided to change their strategy to maybe give more premium, to improve the quality service, to reduce the amount of visitors, and to make higher prices. No? So they received 50,000 visitors, and they sell 30 million bottles a year. Pommery, which is as well quite a famous champagne house, they received 200,000 visitors last year, and they are selling currently 4 million bottles a year. And Joseph Perrier, 1 million bottles, 17,000 visitors we expect to reach at the end of that year 2025. No? We did 15,000 visitors last year. We are opened only for 4 years. No? So it's quite a great success as the numbers are telling. If we talk about the global wine tourism around the world, this is around 40 million visitors. It's a revenue of 29.6 billion euros per year. And according to the last research, more than 51% of wine growers offer wine tourism services, from the wine tasting with no tools to the seminar room, the dinner, even in the cellars or in the vineyards. No? We have a lot of examples in the Champagne area of organizations that invested these last years. Pressoria is a public investment. You are very, it's a kind of interactive museum where you will discover the winemaking and the making process of champagne according to a very, very original way. You will be immersed inside that experience. You will create your own champagne thanks to that beautiful place. Then if we take some other example, like champagne houses Ruinart, they just invested 25 million euros to renovate their already existing hospitality center. They are hiring a lot of people currently. They want to reach around 16 guides. So I mean people making the tours, the tasting, and selling in the shops. Then they have a team dedicated, focusing on the receptions, the dinners. They have a chef. So they are currently developing a hotel as well. Thienot just opened a brand new hospitality center as well in the very city center of Reims. It's like 5 minutes from the train station, so I guess they expect to receive, after 2-3 years of opening, 50,000 people a year. This is their objective. And they invested 20 million euros. They have a hotel, 5-star hotel, that will open at the end of the year. 12 rooms. They have a bar, a restaurant, but no permanent chef, sometimes, just for the caterers, for example. And of course, they have a cellar tour And this is within the cellar tour that they expect to receive 50,000 guests. Tétinger just opened the restaurant, no hotel yet. So it's becoming very normal for the champagne houses to open restaurants within their champagne house. Another example is Bollinger. They will celebrate as well 200 years in 2029, and they are currently working on a beautiful project. They will, I hope, their objective is to be ready, of course, for the 200 years in 2029. They will open a hotel, a restaurant, and they will offer as well cellar tours. They already do, but it will be, I guess, improved in terms of services and quality. And so they will hire a team dedicated to that. So this is definitely the moment to look for a job in Champagne, to be honest. Why is the wine tourism increasing so much? It looks like even if we are actually drinking less alcohol nowadays than our parents or grandparents did, we drink differently than before. And when we maybe drink less at the bar or we purchase less in the supermarket or somewhere, we are willing to visit the producers more than before to exactly understand how it's produced, where it comes from, and what are exactly the products I am drinking. Thus, this might be one of the answers to that question. The modern wine tourist is not only a wine specialist, it's as well families. That's why it is very important for the Joseph Perrier to attract not only the parents, but as well the children. So we want the parents to think, yes, if I go to Joseph Perrier, I will not have to think that my child will be bored, and he will as well have a great moment, so I will have a great moment. Because the director of the house, Benjamin Fourmont, he has 2 children, 7 and 10 years old. He often travels and think, I would like, as an adult, to visit this place. But if I go with my children, there is nothing adapted to receive them. What a pity. So I will not go, because it will maybe bother the other people if I come with my children. So it's such a pity not to be able to visit with your families. That's why we are currently developing an offer for the children. This is quite tricky because there is a specific law in France, the Loi Evin. I'm not here to criticize. Hopefully we have a law to protect under 18 people, but we have to take in account this specificity and to develop an activity with alcohol and making the families welcome. Well, this is quite a great challenge, to be honest. The wine tourism as well attracts the locals. Since we invested at Joseph Perrier, a new hospitality center, we observe that people living in Châlons-en-Champagne are now really proud of the house, and they are the first ambassadors. So this is very important to have locally as well a new image. Of course, we receive a lot of guests from abroad. I would say that around 55 to 60% of our visitors are French speakers, and 45% are foreigners, English speakers, German speakers. The majority of our visitors come from Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Italy, of course European visitors, but we have more and more demand coming from the US, Canada, Japan, Australia, so it's quite international. They are looking for luxury experiences, but as well for authentic experiences. They want to be in contact with the people making the champagne. They don't want to be in contact with an advertising. They don't want to be in contact with someone who is a robot. They want someone to answer the question and someone transparent. This is actually really what I feel when I receive guests at Joseph Perrier. So we have, of course, a new offer in hotels. that is currently developing as well, but I will come back on that just after. So at Joseph Perrier, in order to answer that demand, we created different offers. We started, of course, with tours, tastings. We have different offers. You can have a tour and different kind of tastings at the end of the tour. We developed as well the MICE, what we call the MICE, so incentives, events, receptions, seminars, and we are currently developing now a new part of that project, which is a restaurant. As well as Joseph Perrier, we are developing a restaurant. But this is quite a small restaurant, I have to be honest, in comparison to Tétinger, for example. The photo you can see here are cocktails we offer at our bar. So we have within our team, as I told you, 3 permanent people. I'm in charge of the hospitality, but I generally focus on the tours, the boutique, and we have someone that will be focused on the seminars, and the third person is in charge of food and beverage, so currently developing the cocktails and the offers we have at the restaurant. So the wine tourist is as well looking for a day to spend at the Champagne House actually. Everything started with a visit, a tour, a tasting, which generally takes 1 hour, 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours. But then what? You go to another one? No, it's time to eat. So stay here, have a seat. Here's the cart, the menu. Here's the cocktail. And they will stay. So that's why most of the champagne houses are investing in that part. And it's the opportunity to show as well that champagne is a good pairing with food. So you give more facets to your champagne, to your wine, as a celebration, as a tasting, and as a food pairing. So the tourists we are currently receiving, most of them, the majority, 50% are couples. We have families as well, as I explained. That's why it's very important for us to focus on that development. So what we developed, to come back on that subject, for the children, we offer at the end of the tour juice, of course, white and red, and then can mix them together to create their own cocktails or their own mixing, because champagne is a question of blending the wines together. And we have games we offer them at the end of the tour, so when the parents are tasting, they are focusing on something to draw, questions to answers, so they always have something to do, and everybody is happy. All right. Let's have a small break now. I would like you to see a video about the 200 years of the house. You will discover 2 places. First, you will discover a village, a party, where we received 400 guests, our partners selling the champagne abroad. And then you will discover the place where the tourist activity actually takes place.
Madame Luc Limène.
Merci.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Tu les fais pas tes 200 ans. Vraiment,
c'est gentil.
magnifique.
Alright, we are back. I hope you enjoyed that video. So, as I explained to you, the first part of the video is the celebration we organized for the 200 years with 400 guests coming from all the countries where we export, and of course from France, because it's still 30% of our production. And we had not only the party you have seen, but a big dinner before with 2 Michelin star chefs, one from Reims and one from Châlons-en-Champagne. So it was Philippe Mille from Reims and Jérôme Fec from Châlons-en-Champagne. For that occasion, we actually used the same, we did cook the same menu we did for the 100 years. So the guests had on the table the menu, on the left page, the 100 years menu, on the right page, the 200 years menu as a mirror. It was very, very successful moment. And the second part you have seen is in Châlons-en-Champagne. This is the place where the house invested to create a hospitality center. You discovered one part of our cellars. Our cellars are ground level. They are from the 4th century. It means the cellars are a former mine. They were dug out 1,700 years ago in order to use the stones and build the city of Châlons-en-Champagne. And Joseph Perrier discovered the place and said to himself that it's perfect to store champagne. So he settled here, and it's been 200 years. Before, in the 19th century, you had around 20 to 25 champagne houses based in this city of Châlons-en-Champagne. But let's say that with the phylloxera, a plague, and then the First World War, most of them moved away to Reims or Épernay, and we were the only one to stay. And you've discovered as well the garden, where we organize events like the 200 years, but not only. And I will come back on this just after. Small parenthesis, I would like as well to introduce our certifications, because we cannot offer a good hospitality experience without having first a development, sustainable development, not only in our vineyard, but as well in the way we built the offers. So on the vineyard part, we have 2 certifications. We don't use herbicides anymore. We have grass in our vineyard. Actually, 30% of the vineyard is organic. not 100% because in the Champagne area, the plots are very small. If your neighbors around are not organic, then you lose yourself the certification. So it's quite tricky. That's why 30% of our vineyard, we have 24 hectares in total, is organic, and the rest is HVE, which is in French, Haute Valeur Environnementale, level 3, because you have 3 levels. The 3 is so the maximum. We have as well on the wine tourism part certifications, the ecotourism label from La Marne. We recycle bottles, we create candles out of the bottle, we sell in our boutique. We produce honey on top of our cellars. There is a forest, a 2.5 hectare forest, where we have bees to produce our own honey, so we contribute to the diversity of that forest. We are part of the National Vineyard and Découverte certification as well. And of course we are as well, you can find us in, if you look for us in the Petit Futé and Lonely Planets. And this is I'm quite proud of it as well. We received in 2022 the prize Pierre Cheval for the way we did the renovations in our cellars. Then, in order to attract our tourists and keep in mind the sustainable development, we have as well attract specific organizations. And I'm quite happy about this because I just signed a great contract with a company called Backroads. That's why I want to talk about this with you now. Backroads is an American company. They bring American tourists, most of all in France actually, but as well in Germany and Italy. And they do everything by bikes. They go from Champagne and then they go to Alsace as well. And I know them for a long time because before working for Joseph Perrier, I've been working for Dom Pérignon, Ruinart, Moët and Chandon. This is where I met them. And before that, I've been working for the Cognac hospitality for Courvoisier. And even before, I was working for tourism, but in the rainforest in South America, which is nothing to do with Champagne. No. And Backroads, it's quite a big company, so I'm very happy to have them. We receive as well tourist cruises because there is a canal going in the city of Châlons-en-Champagne, so we are able to receive boats. This represents maybe around, in terms of tourists, it represents a few hundred people we receive per year thanks to these two systems. And we work as well with the ADT, l'Agence de Développement du Tourisme, from La Marne and on the departmental and regional scale. And we receive often groups from the Netherlands, from Germany, from different countries to show them that it's possible to come at Joseph Perrier with boats, with bikes. And we are currently developing as well, we want to obtain the certification for bike friendly and dog friendly, even if dog friendly is not completely the sustainable point. But it's quite important in terms of strategy to show that people traveling with their animals are as well welcome. So from the vineyard certification to the public, these are some images I would like you to show as well to see about our cellars. We have 3 miles of cellars, so which is 5 kilometers with 4 million bottles inside. These are the perfect conditions to store the champagne, and this is what you discover when you come to visit at Joseph Perrier. So the authenticity we were talking about at the beginning is part of that experience. As I told you, the tourists, they want to discover someone from the house. They want to have someone explaining, answering the question, but as well they want to visit the production sites. They don't want a museum. They don't want fake. They want to touch the product. They want to be really connected to that place where it's produced. So here we visit not the 5 kilometers, of course, but one part of it, and this is the production site. As I told you, this cellar is from the 4th century, so it's quite unique. And you have natural light in this cellar. It's as well very original because an engineer created a lighting system called reflector. This is a historical marker in the cellars, and it was fundamental as well to making the first champagne wire hoods. It was created, the champagne wire hoods, in Châlons-en-Champagne by our former neighbors, Jackson, a champagne house that still exists nowadays, but they moved away after the First World War, and they are next to Épernay nowadays, but they are quite famous as well. So this champagne wire hood was created in Châlons-en-Champagne. I have to be as well proud of the city, of course. I'm sure you can understand that. And as I told you, we have that forest above us with the bees we take care of to produce our honey. Let's come back on some numbers. At Joseph Perrier, we invested 2.5 million euros. So it's far away from the 25 million euros of Renard, of course, but it's still quite a great amount. We opened officially in 2021. It was a half year. We received 5,000 guests. In 2022, we received 10,000 people, so we doubled. 2023, 12,000. 2024, 15,000. And this year, we expect to end with 17,000 people, 17,000 tourists. So within that number, you will have our partners, our close customers. You will have what we could call the VIPs, the people that we receive for free, because we know that maybe they will come back to their countries later and buy more Joseph Perrier because they are connected to our importers in the US, or in Puerto Rico, or in Japan, or in Australia. Then you have the number of people coming, paying for a visit, for a tasting, and you have as well in this number the people organizing a seminar and having a tour within that program. Because the tour is a tool. As you understood now, this is not the only option when you come at Joseph Perrier or in most of the champagne houses nowadays. We have 3 permanent workers at Joseph Perrier Hospitality, but I have to come back on that point because actually the food and beverage responsible just went away through a new experience in Italy after 2 years of great work, and we are currently looking for a new food and beverage responsible to come with our team. So if you think about someone or about you, here's an opportunity. And of course, we look always for internships, alternance. We have 2 alternance right now, and we have 2 to 3 more internships starting generally in April for a few months. Wine tourism would be nothing if there was no boutique, a place to sell the champagne. Of course, we sell around 20,000 bottles at Joseph Perrier boutique in Châlons-en-Champagne. So out of 1 million, 20,000 bottles come out of our shop. It's an amazing number. I'm very proud of that, to build that success, because as a client, Champagne, the hospitality Joseph Perrier represent for the house 20,000 bottles. If someone tomorrow knock at the door and say, I buy to you 20,000 bottles, they will say yes. It's a great opportunity. So this is here as well to show that the hospitality is a great issue, is a great solution to enhance the sales of the champagne. And actually, nowadays, those last years, the market is a bit going down. The export in France, we consume a bit less champagne, but at the hospitality center, we grow. We are still growing by 2 numbers. I expect this year to increase the incomes of 20%. And it's not over. It will still increase next year for sure. How can we reach 20% growth after 5 years of job? Well, there are 3 main actions you can carry on. within a champagne house if they give you the tools, of course. The tools and tastings, the master classes. The photos you will see here is a master class. We have tasted one champagne with 4 different sugar levels in the champagne. I will not come back on the making process of champagne, but the sugar content is a very important moment in the champagne production. So this was the same one at 4 different levels of sugar. And then we have 3 champagne from the year 2002, so very old champagne. But that's where these champagne are not completely the same because they were not put on the market at the same moment. No. So in order to enhance the service, the memory the people will carry on home, we offer as well with the tasting food and food pairing that is exactly meant to be paired and to match with the champagne they are drinking. So this one is a masterclass around the notion de dosage, which is a very important step in the making champagne process. It was done in November 20th, last month. We had another one earlier about the rosé, and another one on a specific champagne we produce, a plucked champagne called La Côte à Bras. And we will have more next year. These are not only for specialists, but as well for beginners, because we are here to make it accessible. So this is one part of the 3 pillars. The other one is the MICE, the meetings, incentive, conferences, exhibitions, events. So as I told you, we have seminar rooms, we have a small restaurant with a bar, but as well we organize parties in our garden. We did 7 summer garden parties this year, and we received 800 people for the biggest one and 400 for the smallest one. These people are not included in the 17,000 people we received because they did not the visit. So 17,000 people is the amount of people that did the visit. But if you take in account the people that came just in the boutique to buy something, they were passing by maybe. The people who came for the 200 years, the people who came on the summer garden party, we did 7. It's more than 17,000 people. So there is definitely, I guess now, for us, on this part of our activity, we can still improve it and reach even bigger numbers. And the last one, food and beverage. Well, here the food pairing was organized by a restaurant I love working with in Châlons-en-Champagne. I love the chef and his way to work, and I'm never disappointed with him. And the food and beverage as well includes, of course, the new restaurant we are opening, so you understood that the aim is to keep the people longer at the champagne house, and we don't want to interfere with the restaurant, but we want them to be able to discover more our champagne thanks to that food. And within that food and beverage as well, we will include the relationship with the caterers, the relationship with the partners. We buy juices or other things to contribute to the experience at home. So finally, these are numbers I just calculated before to come here. In 2025, 70% of our profits, they come from the champagne we sell in our boutique. So definitely, we need to sell that champagne in the boutique. Then 16% is thanks to the tourism visits we sell online on our website. And then 14% thanks to the events, the conferences, exhibitions, and the food and beverage is just included within all those numbers. All right. Here are some pictures to help you to better understand what we offer. You have on the top, in the middle, this is a tasting room. We can receive 25 people here. On the next, on the right as well, with people working on the seminar day. And you see we can provide a TV, of course internet, and everything the company needs in order to create a team meeting. At the bottom on the left, you have the team reunited when we organized one of our summer garden parties with the bar we have outside. Then you have above a picture of an experience we offer with a blind tasting at the end of the tour. And finally, you will discover the pinza romana. This is what we cook at our restaurant. The pinza is between the focaccia and the pizza. The pasta is a bit bigger than the pizza, but very, very crunchy. And this is currently what we are developing to enhance as well and to keep our visitors longer at home. All right. The collaboration model, I will come back a little bit on that. It's very important to come back on the economic impact as well we have on a local area. We are building relationships, first of all, when we produce the champagne, with partners we buy grapes to. So we have our vineyard, but we buy as well grapes to independent wine growers. And here, as a family champagne house, this is very important to build trust with our partners, to be able to have a sustainable relationship with them. And then, if we talk about the tourism activity, we will find around the same spirit. We have the same philosophy. We want to keep in touch with our partners to build a sustainable relationship and to have a beautiful impact on the local industry. So of course we work with 3, 4, 5 different caterers. We as well hire extra temporary workers because we need more help for the summer garden parties. We are around 10 to 15 people working together from 5 to 1 o'clock. So we are 8 people within the hospitality team, so we need to hire more people to help us. So it contributes as well to, it benefits not only to the people working for the house, but as well outside of the house. That way it has quite a social impact as well, because we hire students, as I explained to you. We have currently two alternants and 2 to 3 internships during the season. And it has, of course, a cultural impact because we have partnership with the festival War on Screen, which is a cinema festival in Châlons-en-Champagne. We do have collaborations as well with the circus, because for you to know, the modern circus, the French school, was born in Châlons-en-Champagne. So there is a great school in Châlons-en-Champagne if you are interested in it as well. So this is quite important to focus as well on the impact we have outside of the house, locally, thanks to that activity. It contributes definitely the city to be better. And finally, I just want to introduce some of our partners. I already talked about back roads. I talked about the cruises, but as well I would like to mention Enosphere, because Enosphere is a company based next to Troyes, and as Y School is based in Metz and Troyes, it was for me completely the perfect moment to talk about them. And they have a great impact as well, because they attract tourists from everywhere around the world to get to learn more about the Champagne, and then they build 1, 2, 3 days experiences. They go to different Champagne houses. And of course, we can not finish that presentation without mentioning the tourist offices. We are part of the tourist office of Châlons, but as well Épernay and Reims. So we have that red built between the 3 different main cities of La Marne. And I think I gave you the spirit of the wine tourism tonight and of Joseph Perrier. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I hope that my voice was loud enough. And if you have any questions, I will leave now Mr. Gabon coming back. And I thank you for your attention.
Okay, so thank you very much for this enriching presentation. Actually, we learned a lot. At personal level, I learned a lot. Hopefully, people that they are with us live also they learned a lot. So now, just for the procedure, how you will ask questions, we're having a WhatsApp number that we will show it to you now, and we need to have a coordinator for each campus. So for each university, for each school that we're having, we need to have a coordinator, and they will send the question to this number that you can see it in front of you. It's 06 30 94 24 05, and it's the coordinator that he will send it to this number. Maybe before receiving questions from other campuses, I will see if we're having one question here among the public. Please, could you come? Yeah, please. Yeah, please come.
Here in front?
Yeah.
To the camera? Or?
Yes,
Oh,
come.
okay.
We are waiting for you. All the campuses, they are waiting for you.
Yo.
We're having a special person that he's coming here.
I'm going to
So
pass
please
to-
come. Yeah, come here. Introduce yourself first of
Hi,
all.
hello.
And
So I'm Hugo and I'm a student here from the Y school. So the question I have is we know that there is a lot of type of champagne, like a blanc de blanc, rosé. How many types do you do?
I have to think just a little bit.
Yeah.
With rosé, blanc de blanc, with nature, demi-sec, 18, Joséphine. No. It's about 9-10 different champagne
Okay.
we produce. Blanc de blanc means it's 100% Chardonnay champagne.
Yeah.
The rosé, you have different techniques to produce the rosé. We use the blending technique, mixing red with white wine together. And we have a brut nature champagne, which is a champagne with no sugar at all.
Okay.
At the opposite, we have a sweet champagne called demi-sec. These are champagne that are a blend of different years of harvest.
Yeah.
And on the other side, we have vintages. This is only 1 year. It's very gastronomic. It's a champagne that you might have with food, definitely. And here you will find 2018 vintage, 2014 vintage. Currently, actually, I think it was 2 days ago, I've sold 1976 vintage. We have in our boutique 1982 Magnum. So we still have as well very old vintages only available at our house.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Great. We're waiting for the questions to arrive from other campuses. I don't know if we're having a question, so just we're waiting for the questions. Meanwhile, maybe we're having another question here. So our students, they are on fire with the questions. So please come. Also introduce yourself, please.
Yes.
And the question.
So my name is Pablo, and as Hugo, I'm also a student here in the Bachelor of Y School. And the question that I have is that before you mentioned the fact that you are pairing food with champagne. That, to be honest, I've never done that. So could you maybe tell us 2-3 types of food which paired good with the champagne?
All right. So according to the champagne, we will not do the same pairing. But for example, the champagne like Blanc de Blanc 100% Chardonnay will be definitely a good food pairing with oysters, les huîtres, yeah. If you go with a very old champagne, a vintage 2018 for example, you can even have a food pairing with veal, meat, with white meat as well. It works very nicely. Then if you go for the rosé, I recommend you to make like a sorbet of red fruits. You rasp some green lemon zest on the top, flour salt, mint leaves, that's it.
All right.
It's not very complicated to do at home. With the rosé, you will get very good food pairing. But in general, keep in mind that champagne calls for saltiness, acidity, and no sugar.
All right.
Try to avoid the sugar.
All right. Perfect.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Again, we are still waiting for questions from other campuses and from schools. And if you don't have, we're having plenty of questions that they are here in this classroom. So again, we're waiting, and maybe we're having another question from our student. Please come, also introduce yourself and ask your question.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Cynthia. Nice to meet you. I have a personal question for you. How do you learn a lot of languages?
Well, I did a bachelor and a master, and all the courses were in German and English. I did 1 year in Austria as Erasmus, and so I had German and English. And then I decided to, at the end of my master degree, I decided to go to Ecuador, where I had a job and I learned Spanish and Portuguese a little bit, because
Okay.
you have people from Brazil there as well. So I learned on the field the Spanish.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I don't know if we're having questions from other schools. We're having, it seems, from Troyes. Okay, the question, which type of proposition do you offer to MICE clientele? It means what are the offers that you're having
Yeah.
for MICE clients?
So we build offers, let's say tailor-made offers, but we have 3 main rooms where you can organize a meeting. The first one is a 150 meter square room. We can reach 100 people. Theater organization with a screen to project what they need to project. And we generally have first a breakfast, so croissant, pain au chocolat, orange juice, or juice from local producers. Actually, it's not an orange juice, it's apple juice, cherry juices, but from a local producers. Coffee, of course. A space to work, to meet. Then they are able to eat at our house, cocktail, seated dinner, lunch, as they want. We answer to their needs. We adapt according to what they want to have. And of course, we can organize a tour, so they spend as well, they have free time to enjoy together. It's part of the team building movement, and it's quite a trade recently for the people to meet, to work, but as well to have fun on the same time. And we have partners, hotels partners, in the city of Châlons-en-Champagne, so they can spend the night. We want to develop, but it's not ready at all, but we want to develop our own rooms, maximum 4, not more. And this might be first for our economical partners, not for tourism, but we'll see after. I hope I answered the question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great, thank you for the questions. I don't know if in other schools they are having any internet problem and they don't have any question, but that's weird. We're having other questions that they are coming also from Troyes. With climate change, are there any adjustment that should be planned to maintain tourism activities without compromising the quality? So this is one question, and maybe you can answer it in this at the same time. Also regarding the visitors, when do they come the most? In which period? When is the high season for you?
All right. So in terms of climate change, the first job to be done is in the vineyard. So in the Champagne region, you had 7 grapes variety, 7, yeah, you can use to make champagne. You have 2 new grapes variety now. One is called Voltis. Voltis is the result of 15 to 20 years of research. This is a grape variety that can adapt better to heat waves, keeping freshness, and that can resist better to disease because of the rain. So Voltis is quite a great solution to face the climate change. Next to the Voltis, you have another one called Chardonnay Rosé. Chardonnay Rosé is a grape variety that exists since the beginning of the 20th century, so it's not new at all. But we came back to him thinking, oh, this grape variety is exactly what we need right now. So the grapes variety will change, definitely, not only in Champagne, but in most of the vineyard. In some areas of Italy, they will lose the vineyard. It's sad, I know, but 46 degrees Celsius is the maximum temperature a vine can resist. More than that, it stops. And you have 46 degrees nowadays in Italy sometimes, even in the south of France. So definitely there is a lot of work to do in the vineyard, in the way we produce. There is another project I will give you right now. This is a project on the champagne scale, not only Joseph Perrier. When you make a fermentation, you transform the juice of your grapes into wine. It creates CO2, one of the gas we are currently fighting, isn't it? So the idea is to store that CO2 produced by the fermentation, to transport this CO2 to companies producing plants for cosmetic, because these plants need CO2 to grow. So this will create a very good cycle, you understand? So then, in the tourism, of course, we'll have to find solution for slow tourism. This is what I tried to introduce a little bit during my presentation. One of the solutions is the slow tourism. It means that people will have to move from one point to another, at least after arriving at the place they want to visit, with bikes, with boats, with electric cars, and we have to diversify and change the way we move, of course. But the movement is still needed in order to have tourism. So we cannot change that fact that people, they come from the US, they come from Australia. They have a carbon imprint, of course. And then the last question was, where our visitors come from?
No, when is the high season
season?
period for the visitors?
Well, the highest month, the high season, let's say, it's April to October. The highest month are May and June, because during May and June, you have the tourism. You have bank holidays. It's good weather. We have parties in our garden. We have companies willing to organize seminars, team buildings. We have everything. Everything we are able to do is here in May and June. Then July and August, of course, are busy moments, but it's 100% tourism. It's easier, for me at least, to manage, because I have a team focused on this, when in May and June, it's quite a mess. So January is very quiet. So here we have an effort to do to attract more companies, to organize seminars during that low season, let's say in terms of tourism. But in terms of sales, for example, December is a big moment. It's not the highest month, but in the boutique, we're quite busy right now. So it's not the same profile, but we always have something to do all year long.
Great, thank you for. We're having two interesting questions from Excelia, La Rochelle. Mm-hmm. So you said you want to make champagne tasting accessible. Are you not scared of making it less of a prestigious experience?
No, what I mean by accessible is the knowledge, the making process is, if you explain it with your heart, if you explain it with the right words, everybody can understand. You don't have to be an expert to understand how champagne is made. And because you will understand how it's made, you will better understand why it's a luxury product. So you will not take quality from your product because you make it more accessible. You will improve the image of your product because more people will understand the work there is behind. And then they will be ready to spend the money when before maybe they were thinking, it's too expensive. Why is it so expensive? I don't buy it if I don't understand why it's expensive. It changed their mind.
Great. Also, we're having another question from Excelia as well. You explained you have certification that protect the ground from being damaged. How do you do that? Means maybe they want to know more about the process.
Mm-hmm. So the HVE certification means that we don't use herbicides anymore to kill the grass. That makes competition within the vines ranges, roses. We don't use as well pesticides anymore for insects. It's over. We only use fungicide for fungus, the mildew, which is quite a high problem in the Champagne area because of the humidity we have here, the rain, more than La Rochelle for sure, and even if you have the ocean. And then it means that we develop biodiversity in our vineyard by planting trees, small plants. So it's not only vineyard, it's around your vineyard, what do you develop? It means that we are quite involved as well in every recycling process. Nothing is wasted, nothing is wasted away. Everything has a purpose. For example, the bottle, the cork will be recycled to make a new cork. The wires around the cork will be recycled. Everything, even the bottle. Nowadays, 96% of the bottle comes from recycling. Only 4% comes from new product sources. And then in the vineyards, 30%, as I told you, is organic. So it means that some products are banned, but instead of these products, you will use copper or sulfur to fight against the humidity and the fungus.
Great, thank you again. Another question now, it's from Lyfe. What are the perspectives regarding wine tourism and risks with sustainable development in the future?
What are, sorry?
What are the perspectives regarding wine tourism? Okay, and means what's the trend?
Okay.
And if there is any risk with sustainable development?
Yeah. The trend is definitely to spend more time within the house you visit. As I told you, food and beverage is the next step, and hotels. The aim is to be able to visit, to stay, to chill, to eat, to sleep, to wake up, to have breakfast, to go in the vineyard, but within a small area. So that's why the champagne houses are developing in their own house all these offers: restaurant, hotels, visits, tasting, bar, seminars. So the limit is not reached yet. There is still a lot of place to grow and to improve that quality of service, I think. And in terms of sustainable development here, you can attract a lot of local companies to organize a seminar at your home. So you don't have to attract a US company or an English company to do it. Most of your clients actually will be from France.
Great, thank you very much. However, reflecting on this question, if now like the trend to have more Americans that they are coming and they are interested, so they will develop tourism. But at the same time, you're having this dilemma that they are coming from a place that it's far. Do you think to take some initiatives like to offset their carbon footprint, or it's not in your strategy till now?
Well, you point something that is quite interesting, the schizophrenia in every activity you will develop. Not only wine tourism, but every activity. You want to grow, but you want to be sustainable. How do you do? And wine tourism is even more complicated because we have to attract, or we don't have, but we want to attract people with a certain purchase power as well. That's why we talk about the USA. And we know that most of the people coming from the USA will actually not buy in our boutique. But the aim for us is that when they come back home, they keep in mind Joseph Perrier, and maybe one day they will purchase Joseph Perrier instead of something else. Of course, the aim is here. So it's a long-term impact. It's not a short-term impact. And we focus on quality services. That's why I mentioned backroads, cruises, because they have a way of developing their tourism offers on slow tourism. So I want to focus on that part to balance the fact that they come from far away.
Great. So thank you very much again. It's really interesting regarding the presentation, and we learned a lot of things regarding sustainability and regarding the wine tourism. and especially for all the students that they are watching now. It's very important to know that it's in the luxury, and also you're having plenty of opportunities in this domain. So this is why it was this presentation today. So again, thank you very much.
With a pleasure, thank you.
Now what we will do, we will move to the QR code that you have to scan it, and you're having also 10 questions that you have to answer. Pay attention, you're having some questions that they are tricky, and hopefully that you enjoyed this webinar, and take care of yourself, and good luck for the quiz.